You ever stop and wonder who, or maybe what, is really in charge in our hyper-connected digital world? I mean, the old picture of a king or a government making all the rules, it just feels kind of outdated, right? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical new idea, that the ultimate power isn't a person or an institution anymore, but a huge, intelligent, and often invisible network.
So let's just ask the big question right up front, because honestly, it affects everything, from the news you see to the opportunities you get in life. Who really rules us today? Is it the people we elect? Or is it something way more complex, something subtle, working behind our screens?
Think about it like this. On one side, you've got the old model of power, a single king, a clear pyramid of control, something you can see, something centralized. And on the other side, well, that's our world today. A sprawling, decentralized digital web with no clear center, where influence just zips around in millions of directions at once. The difference is just massive, and getting a handle on this shift is absolutely crucial.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll take a quick trip back in time to meet the original Leviathan, just to see where this whole idea of centralized power comes from. Then, we're going to jump right back to today to uncover the new, invisible system of control that's taken its place. After that, we'll get into the real-world risks, ask the big question of who can tame this digital beast, and finally, talk about what we can actually do about it.
So first up, let's set the scene. The year is 1651. England is just coming out of a really brutal civil war. And a philosopher named Thomas Hobbes comes up with this big idea, a solution to stop society from ever falling into that kind of chaos again. He called his idea the Leviathan. And the concept was pretty straightforward, but really powerful. People agree to give up a little bit of their freedom to an all-powerful ruler, the state, and in return, they get security and order. This central authority, this artificial man, was designed to save us from our own worst instincts. A single, clear ruler for a stable society.
But you can probably see the problem here. That top-down model just doesn't fit our modern world anymore. Power isn't neatly packed inside borders, and it's definitely not held by just one person or group. The old Leviathan is really struggling to keep up.
So if that old pyramid of power is broken, what's replaced it? Well, this is where we have to shift our thinking, away from a simple hierarchy and towards a complex, almost living system.
To wrap our heads around this, let's borrow an idea from the sociologist Niklas Luhmann. He argued that society isn't one big pyramid. Instead, it's a network of interacting, self-producing systems. You know, things like politics, the economy, the legal system. Each one has its own rules, but they all influence each other. There's no CEO of society. Order just kind of emerges from all these complex interactions.
And this is the key takeaway. The new Leviathan isn't a who, it's a what. It's a decentralized, adaptive network of systems. Now, this makes it super resilient and flexible, but it also makes it incredibly hard to control or hold accountable. Power is literally everywhere and nowhere all at the same time.
Okay, so if power is this big decentralized network, how does anyone actually exercise control? How does this invisible system end up shaping our lives? For that, we need one more cool concept.
Let's talk about the idea of a rhizome from the philosophers Deleuze and Guattari. The best way to picture it is like a field of grass. There's no main central root. It just spreads out underground in every direction. And that is a brilliant way to think about how power works on platforms like Google or TikTok. There's no single command center. It's a distributed network of algorithms and data that influences everything.
And this new reality creates what Deleuze called control societies. See, unlike the old systems of discipline that would, lock you up, this new kind of control is always on. It's fluid. It doesn't use walls and guards to say no. Instead, it subtly nudges, sorts, and steers our behavior through algorithms 24/7. It's less about brute force and more about constant subtle modulation.
I know this all might sound a little abstract, so let's make it really concrete. Let's look at 3 case studies that show how this new form of power is already having a huge impact on real people's lives.
First up, China's social credit system. This is probably the clearest example of a state using this new network power. It connects massive amounts of data to automatically reward behavior the state likes and punish behavior it doesn't. And look, it's an incredibly effective tool for managing a society, but it also raises some really deep, profound questions about freedom and privacy. Next, let's talk about predictive policing, which is used in parts of the US. Here, algorithms analyze historical crime data to try and predict where future crimes might happen. But what's the risk?
Well, if the data you feed it is already biased, reflecting historical discrimination, the algorithm doesn't just copy those biases, it can actually amplify them, creating a dangerous feedback loop.
And that leads us right to the compass system, an algorithm designed to help judges figure out how likely a defendant is to reoffend. Well, a major investigation found it was twice as likely to incorrectly flag black defendants as high risk compared to white defendants. This isn't just a theoretical problem. This is a real algorithm creating unjust outcomes inside the legal system itself.
So these systems have enormous power and very real consequences. Which brings us to the obvious question, who's in charge of them? Who gets to tame this new digital Leviathan? Well, the truth is, the whole world is scrambling to figure that out right now. You've got the European Union with its AI Act taking a human rights first approach, trying to ban systems it sees as too risky. The US has been leaning more towards letting the market and companies figure it out. And China has fully embraced state control to ensure stability. So you have three very different philosophies for the exact same global challenge. But across all these different debates, a few key demands keep popping up over and over again. We need transparency so we can actually understand how these systems work. We need independent audits to check them for bias and harm. We need the public to actually have a say in how they are developed. And maybe most importantly, when things go wrong, we need clear lines of accountability. So where does all this leave us? This isn't just a problem for governments or big tech companies. Understanding this new world of power is really the first step for all of us to start actively shaping it.
So let's boil it down to three main takeaways. First, we just have to recognize that power has fundamentally changed. It's decentralized now, living in these algorithmic networks. Second, we have to see the threat. This invisible power, if we just let it run wild, can quietly chip away at our freedoms. And third, the only real answer is democratic control. We have to demand and help build a framework of clear rules and ethics to guide these powerful systems.
In this new world, being guided or steered by these systems isn't really optional anymore. So the choice we have has changed. The real debate, the one that truly matters for our future, is captured perfectly here. The question is not if we are controlled, but by whom and according to what rule. So I'm going to leave you with this question. From your social media feed to how you apply for a loan or a job, which algorithmic system in your own life worries you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a real conversation about how we can start steering these things together.